The Littlefield collection is famous for having a huge number of serviceable vehicles. That's why we've been coming here to film inside the Chieftain's hatch so much. With the passing of the owner, the collection is being partially split up. So in order to take advantage of the vehicles while they're still here, we're doing a series of short videos, we're calling them Snapshots, in which we're going to go have a look at some of the vehicles which are in this collection, which we otherwise wouldn't have had time to do in a Chieftain's hatch. So stay tuned and maybe you'll see some of your favourites. Artillery has always been a very important part of any Russian army, even back to the Tsarist days. They call it the god of war. But although they made a plethora of assault guns in World War II, after the war ended during the early Cold War, they relied particularly on towed artillery. And it wasn't until the late 60s that they decided that with the advent of fast, mechanized warfare, plus also the threat of nuclear or chemical or biological attack, that a vehicle-mounted artillery piece might be a good idea again. The solution was to take the fairly ubiquitous D30 122mm regimental howitzer and mate it to an MTLB chassis. The resulting vehicle was the 2S1, known colloquially as the Gvozdika. The Russians named their artillery pieces after flowers for whatever reason. The howitzer was slightly modified. You give it a double baffle muzzle brake and also a fume extractor. On the inside, it comes equipped with a power rammer. The vehicle itself remains relatively unmodified. However, it does also swim, a neat additional feature. As a result, if I open up the front hatch here, you're going to see that there is a lot of empty space inside the vehicle. Between the engine, which is an 8-cylinder 300 horsepower, and the transmission, you'll see that there's a lot of volume to give buoyancy and displacement. The vehicle will float with very little preparation and will do a grand total of about 2.8 knots. It has a crew of 4. The driver is located in the front left. He is isolated from the entire rest of the vehicle. Behind him and to the right slightly is the engine, and in the rear is the crew compartment with the howitzer, the 360-degree rotating turret, and a platform for the turret basket. 40 rounds of ammunition are carried stowed in racks. There is a projectile rack on the loader side, propellant and a few more projectiles are stowed in the bus hull, and there is additional stowage in the hull rear. The gunner is located on the left-hand side in front of the commander. The loader is on the right. The driver is equipped with the traditional 3 pedals, clutch, brake, accelerator. He has a manual transmission to his front right, and steering is affected by use of 2 tillers. The suspension, MTLB, torsion bar, stamped road wheels, single pin steel track. Nothing particularly unusual there. Maximum rate of fire for the 122 was 5 rounds a minute, although the sustained rate of fire was only 1 or 2. The maximum range was 15 kilometers, with the gun elevated to 70 degrees, unless you used an assisted projectile, which will get you the better part of 22 kilometers. A variety of ammunition could be carried. There is traditional high explosive rocket assisted, armor piercing high explosive, fléchette if you didn't like infantry, and to really say you love somebody, you could also fire chemical munitions. This was a very simple and effective vehicle. It was massively produced and widely exported. Although it fell out of Russian service in 2007, it continues to see service in countries throughout the world. This particular vehicle was captured in 1991 from the Iraqis, brought to the US, tested by the US Army, and hence there's actually English language signage inside it, and eventually found its way here to Patola Valley, California to become part of the Littlefield collection.